I'm just receiving. You. I can see your response. Thank you for that. Okay. I'm just wondering, I see your online or your Julie, can you confirm you're seeing and hearing us via live stream?
Yes, I can. I do have the live stream running as well, however, which I'll just go out of that, it's probably interfering. I can see you on the Teams meeting, and I did have the live stream up as well. But
Okay.
I'll leave this meeting now and just watch it on the live stream.
Okay, what concerns me is that Dr. Hewison and Trevor Wilson are saying they can't see it being live streamed, but I guess it's because we've only just started to live stream.
Correct. Because the meeting hasn't officially started yet, the live stream is not live. As soon as you actually open the meeting, they'll make it live.
Thank you. Thanks, Julie. Okay, so first of all, I just need to make sure I'm recording this hearing. So I'm just going down to start the recording. Tēnā koutou katoa, everybody. Welcome and good morning. This is a public meeting of the Auckland District Licensing Committee convened to hear and consider an application for a new on-licence by Perfect Touch New Zealand Limited at 149 Simon Street, Auckland, to trade as Perfect Touch. My name is Wendy Stevenson. I work in the hearings team at Auckland Council, here to assist all parties today. If anyone has any questions, because we all have our video cameras on this morning, perhaps if you need to say something or if you need to leave for a bathroom stop or anything, just put your hand up like that. That'd be great. So I just wanted to thank you all for being available to participate and make this hearing available online today. It's difficult times, obviously, and this is, I think, this is definitely our first online hearing. So please bear with us. But I'm sure that now that we've all joined the meeting, things should run smoothly. So yes, the hearing is being recorded today. The hearing is also being live streamed to any members of the public, and I am receiving messages saying that the people that are watching the live streaming are actually now able to do so, which is great because the meeting's now underway. So just back to my notes, as I mentioned, if we can please just follow the prompts of our chairperson today. Just a little bit around swearing people in. I think, as I've mentioned to the applicant and the objectors, you do need to be sworn in. So that will be done by affirmation today. I have already given parties the opportunity to swear on the Bible. However, if you wanted to swear on the Bible, you need to have a Bible available with you this morning. And I understand that the affirmation will suffice. If we can just all ensure, like a face-to-face hearing, that our cell phones are switched to silent or turned off, so we don't have those interruptions. If we can, again, all just make sure that our microphones are muted unless we're speaking, and that just prevents any background sounds that we might hear. The chairperson has asked that our video cameras be turned on, and they are all turned on, which is great. So please leave those on, unless you need to quickly skip to the bathroom, and maybe if it's only a very short break, so that we don't have to adjourn the hearing. Maybe just put your hand up, as I mentioned before. So I think that's all I've got to say. If I've missed anything, just put your hand up and let me know. So I'm going to hand you over now to Chair Ms. Katia Fraser. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson, and tēnā koutou katoa, everyone. Thank you for joining us at this hearing online. Hearings in person are quite difficult, but hearings online are probably even harder. So thank you for enabling us for this to happen. So my name is Ms. Fraser, and on the panel with me are Mr. Young and Ms. Reid, and you can see them on your screen. Before we commence, I will confirm the names of the parties and their representatives, but I just want to make sure that all questions relating to the conduct of the hearing must be addressed through me as the chair, and my ruling on those matters of procedure is final. And at the conclusion of the hearing, we will deliberate in private, and we'll endeavour to get the decision out as soon as possible. So I'll just, I do have the names of the parties. I'll just get those confirmed. So for the agencies, we've only got the inspector here today. So we've got Ms. Handley and Mr. Flanagan assisting as well from the alcohol licensing.
Yes, Morena Koto. The inspector is not opposed this morning. We're just here to assist. Accordingly, I haven't sought leave to appear in a formal capacity. I'm just here to assist with the inspector.
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. Now, for the applicant, we have two people here. So if you could let me know your names, that would be great.
Ali Savannah and
Raya Shirazi.
Okay. Thank you. So will you both be presenting evidence today?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And then we have one of the objectors. So Ms. Phillips, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Anna Phillips.
Yeah. And you've got some evidence or you've got some information to provide to us today? Great. Yeah. Thank you. So I'll just and there's no one else that we can see, and there's no other objectors are attending at this stage. They may attend later. We don't know. They haven't responded to say that they would, but if they do turn up later, then they will have an opportunity to speak as well. So just to go through the process of this hearing, the applicant will present their information first. So they'll tell us a bit about the business, what you intend to do, and respond to the concerns that you're aware of from the objectors, because you've seen the objections. The probably the most difficult part of the hearing comes next, because if you provide evidence, then the other parties to the hearing are entitled to cross-examine you. So the inspector and Ms. Phillips are entitled to ask you questions, and the panel as well. We can ask questions at any time. And Ms. Phillips, it can be quite difficult as an objector to ask questions, but we're here to help, and I suspect the types of questions that you have are the types of questions that we have. So we're really here to assist everybody, and we're here to get the best information that we can get to make the right decision. So once the applicant has presented their case and you've been cross-examined, then we will turn to Ms. Phillips, because the inspector's only here to assist, so they don't actually have evidence to present. We'll just rely on their report unless we have questions throughout the hearing that we may want to ask the inspector. So Ms. Phillips, once the applicant's finished, it's your turn. You get an opportunity to present your evidence in your case to address the concerns that you have with the application. Once you've done that, the applicant is entitled to ask questions, cross-examine you, and so is the inspector. And me and the two other committee members will also potentially ask you questions. So on the completion of your evidence and the cross-examination of Ms. Phillips, we'll turn back to the applicant. Given that it's your application, you have the last say. So you can then address any further issues that's been raised during the hearing. You can either do that today on the spot, or if you want to go away and have a week or so to prepare something in writing, you can do that as well. But we can address that later. We'll just see how we go and how you feel, whether you need more time to prepare what we call a closing. Just sort of putting your whole case together at the end and summarising. So as a committee, we can ask questions at any time. And once we've heard from the applicant and the objector, we will, and you've had an opportunity to either close today or later. Once we have all of that completed, we will deliberate in private and we will issue a decision. All witnesses will need to be affirmed by Ms. Stevenson. And before we commence, I just want to remind you that the matters that we are dealing with today are addressed in Section 105 of the Act. That sets out a criteria that we must look at when issuing this decision. And those are the only matters that we will be considering in making our decision. So are there any questions about the process before we commence? No? Okay, so we will begin the hearing. Who is giving evidence first for the applicant?
Hi. I'll speak.
Who was that? I couldn't quite see who's speaking.
Right. It's Raya. I'll be
Right.
speaking.
Okay, so you'll need to get affirmed by Ms. Stevenson.
Check.
So, Raya, do you solemnly, sincerely, and truthfully declare and affirm that the evidence you're about to give touching the matters before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I speak?
Chair Fraser, shall I swear Ellie in as well now?
That's probably a good idea, yes.
Ellie, I'm going to affirm you as well, if you don't mind. So, Ellie, do you solemnly, sincerely, and truthfully declare and affirm that the evidence you're about to give touching the matters before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think what we'll do is, Ms. Shirazi, if you want to speak first, so what you're doing now is giving us your evidence. So you know what the concerns of the objectors are, and we've still got 3 objectors. So maybe if you could tell us a bit about yourself, what your role is, and then whatever information you think that we need, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but before, I'll just stop you there. We are going to be, even though this is recorded, we do write down what you say. So don't go too fast, because then we don't get all the information. Sort of go at a reasonable speed. And I know it is really nerve-wracking doing this. And you know, we understand that. So if you need to take a break or you don't understand what's going on, please ask us and we'll help.
Okay, good. Exhale first.
So ask you has later.
Okay, perfect. So Ali and myself, we had sent a letter out to the residents, I guess, who objected. So I think we're just going to, not reading off, but kind of elaborating on those points a bit more, which is introducing ourselves. So I'm Raya Shirazi, this is Ali Savannah. So the ones that are going to be operating this new massage center in the facility. I think with the main thing we just wanted to come across is with the concerns of the hours and the type of business. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around the industry we have and how we operate and how alcohol is not the main objective of our business. It's just an add-on. So it's something we offer when they do a massage.
Like a luxury service.
Yeah, so it's just a addition to the service. We have been operating another facility, Total Body Bliss, that's had a license for a year without any issues or concerns. We understand the concerns of the area. That's why we've adjusted the hours to accommodate and have been flexible and transparent with everything. What we believe and know the alcohol license would help is just the overall experience. So we are a high-end massage facility, which caters to a higher clientele. As mentioned, I think we charge about 25-30% more than places within the industry, and our clientele reflects that. If we had any concerns about our clientele and if they were to be disruptive, we would not be doing such hours. But we've been in this business for a while. We don't have any concerns about the disruptive to the neighborhood and all that. So we do have 24-hour CCTV camera in the area. We have duty managers who've been fully trained and versed in what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Our staff have also worked in hospitality industry, whereas they've worked at bars and can easily identify the scabs and know what is appropriate behavior and what's intoxication and all that. Again, with the nature of our business, it's not a group activity. This is not essential massage, it's not large groups of intoxicated people coming in. So that's, again, not a concern of having people be disruptive or a nuisance to the community. It is a personal experience. People do tend to come on their own and are greeted by a receptionist, manager, someone. People don't just go about themselves. Also, a lot of the time it's appointments. So we know these people are coming. We can see them coming in and we can assess. No one wants to be around intoxicated people, not myself, not the masseuses, no one. So again, we know what we're looking for, and it's just not the nature of our business. Also, it is a massage center, so if someone is intoxicated, I assume the last thing they want to do is lie flat on their stomach. It's probably not the best thing. So again, we understand there are concerns. I feel like we have addressed them as the best of our ability. And I think the application for a liquor license and the extended hours are taking it away from our actual views. We are a massage center at the core of it, and this is only an additional thing to help enhance the experience. As I've worked there for a couple of years now, it's rare that someone gets another drink because, again, they're in that room, they're getting a massage. This is not a bar, it's not a tavern, they're not sitting down, there's nowhere they can all socialize. It's just not that environment. So that's why, again, there's a bee. There's a bee. Sorry, one moment, we're having livestock. What is it?
There's a bee.
We're terrified for our life.
Okay.
That's okay, that's back outside. Sorry about that. Yes, so again, we don't feel that the hours are going to be causing a nuisance for the area. We like the area and we can see the potential. That's why we decided to move there. And we don't think we're going to be a negative impact at all. What else did we want to bring up?
I can't speak. It's just Mariah speaking at the moment.
No, you can speak because you've been affirmed as well. So, right. But we'll just need to write down that you're now speaking. So
okay, so we can't speak together, just one at a time.
You can talk. No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So how she's saying before, like the main of our business is sensual massage, and we offer a drink as part of a luxury kind of a service. Previously, before I took on that tenancy, there was a Chinese Chinese brothel or club that was there, and the place behind it was a complete dump, basically. So the whole place wasn't looked after very well, and the tenants were there had a club, so I would have presumed that any noise coming from there would have been a lot worse, and maybe that's why some of the tenants are worried. I've taken on the tenancy, I've put a lot of money into it, made it really nice. We're actually putting a garden at the front as well. We've removed the club sign because we're not a club, we are a sensual massage centre. Again, it's an industry that a lot of people don't understand or know about. It's not a strip club, it's not a brothel, it's like a high-end adult centre where you can relax. People come in discreetly. People don't really want to be seen going into places like that. We get a lot of couples that come in because they want to explore a little bit. But yeah, we don't have a bar in the area. We don't have it's not a club. And I did write in the letter as well that anyone's welcome to walk through, have a look themselves. The renovation work's not quite completed yet, so I haven't got photos for everyone, but you're welcome to come in. What else? We also have added CCTV cameras down the driveway and at the front, which that wasn't there before. We've put in lights as well, so people can see. We've also got a tenancy at the back, which is separate. That's residential tenants. It's a 5-bedroom apartment, so that's just as close as the place next to us. So I mean, we're just as concerned as keeping it quiet, making sure that we don't have any disruptions for those tenants.
So at the back, is it your tenants, or is it?
No,
you don't know. Okay.
I mean, sorry, like it's not from our place, but it's just it's part of my tenancy. Yeah. So a real estate agent has taken it on. He's finding tenants for it.
Right, but you've leased that, you've rented that back tenancy, and then
yes.
Okay. So if there are any noise issues, they complain to you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a property manager that's taking care of that. What else I need to go over? Yeah, in terms of the hours, again, we've noticed, obviously I've been there for the last few months doing a lot of work there with the builders and whatnot, when we've noticed a lot of tenants coming out from the next door, 145 Simon Street, that look a little bit rough around the edges. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is our clients are quite high-end and they like to be discreet, and we don't have any issues. There are obviously other people in the neighbourhood who don't have that same need to, be as professional. So I don't think our hours or our business is going to, have any lesser impact. If anything, it's going to benefit the community because we've made the building nice. We've got cameras as well, so if there are any issues, everything's recorded. Again, going back to saying I've had this massage centre for quite some time, about 6 years, and I've got the other one, I've had that for 4 years, had a liquor license there for the last year and a half or so. Never had any issues. And and opening hours, I mean, they're not going to change. The liquor license, if we don't get a liquor license till whatever time, we're still going to have the same operating hours. We're still going to have people coming and going. And I've tried to reduce the hours to, help to kind of meet everyone halfway. But we can't reduce any less to the opening times, which for us, they're on the sheet. What else? I think the main thing is to say we're not a club. We don't cause noise. Very quiet, very discreet. So I think that's the main concern a lot of the neighbours probably had, that we're going to be noisy and have people coming and going. Our main entrance is on the front as well, not down the side. Previously, there was a gate that wasn't working properly. I've repaired that. Everything's, so we have a gate that shuts off to the public. That's just for the residents behind and the staff, but everyone comes in the front. Anything else I can think of?
I'm trying to think. I'm sweating.
Yeah. I feel like I'm back at school.
I think, sorry, I'm Raya, so I'll be speaking again. I think the main thing is, again, it's the loud music. It's a spa. We have relaxing spa music, spa environment. That's the way we're emulating. We're not emulating a nightclub. There's the only bar or place of point of purchase is right at reception, which is always manned by someone. So again, someone is always in charge of how people get drinks, and it's only reception and clients who get it. The masseuses, no one else has access there, bar the duty manager that is working at all times.
We also don't display alcohol. So again, because we're not a bar, we're not, like for us, adding on the liquor license, it's just added luxury. So we ask the clients if they'd like a drink with their massage, but we don't actually have it on display for everyone to see. Yeah.
We also do have non-alcoholic beverages and food available. Again, working there for a couple of years now, people don't tend to always go for the alcoholic option. We do operate from 10 a.m. So usually orange juice, water.
Most of them have water. Yeah.
So again, it's not a core part of the business. It is just something that we've always had on to enhance the experience. Do I have anything else to say?
I don't think so.
I don't know. No, I feel like I'm saying things over and over again. I think that is it on us. We're happy to answer any questions.
And again, sorry. I mean, I've made myself quite available to all the residents. So I've given my personal phone number and my email. So if there are any concerns, I'm more than happy to deal with them straight away. I don't want any issues. I don't want any problems. The way I operate my businesses and manage my businesses are very professional and discreet and transparent. So I'm trying to, make the industry better as well as, just operate a good business.
Thank you. Mr. Flanagan, do you have any questions?
Thank you. Just a couple, actually. And either one of you can answer. It's just about how your business operates. You have a pretty broad spectrum of opening hours. I was just curious, do you have certain times of day that are when you're peak operating, when you have the most clientele?
Do you want to take that?
It varies, but generally probably morning. And then you get like after work kind of a rush. But it can vary. It's okay. Seasonal. Yeah.
And so as far as the late night hours go, say after midnight, is there a very high volume of business?
We sometimes we do get a few customers. I wouldn't say high. You wouldn't get like a after work on a rush. But again, with trying to improve the industry and trying to create something that's more modern, I guess, and having longer opening hours, because the reality is that most people nowadays work a lot later. So being open till 10 o'clock like we used to, back a few years ago, just doesn't work anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't say you get a big rush, but we do get some people that can't go anywhere else.
And then you have some clients that come in around 12:30. So most clients like to get an hour. So if they're coming anytime past 1, they're just not going to. Don't get the full hour because we close at 2. So usually if we're going to get the late ones, it's about 12:30 because they want the full hour. And by the time, getting payment, getting the room organized, this and that can go into it. So that's it. And then we do get clients who do come late at night. They tend to call and to see availability. Again, this is not an establishment people just rock up and we know they're coming, especially at that time. People don't want to be wasting their own time coming somewhere that's fully booked or anything like that. So again, it's people plan to come. It's not a walking across the road and be like, oh, that looks like fun. It is a intentional visit, if that makes sense.
And you kind of mentioned it, but is the standard amount of time that a client spends at your business is 60 minutes? Is that the usual length of time? And so what percentage of your clientele would you say purchase alcohol? You said that you have a license at your other establishment. So how many of your clients tend to buy alcohol when they're there?
Again, it kind of goes in phases. Like in summertime, people, want to have after work beer. But I don't know what percentage, we haven't worked it out, but majority of people just take a water or a juice.
Yeah.
So it's not a high percentage. And again, it's an added cost, quite an added cost for me, but it's something I want to explore and just to create that luxury kind of, you can have a drink if you want to have a drink.
Okay.
But
it is a small percentage more often than not about people purchasing it. And again, when we clean the rooms after the clients, and most of the drink hasn't even been drank. Like,
yeah, because they go in and see the lady, and then they can't really drink because they're lying down, and yeah.
Okay. So relatedly, do very many of your customers have, say, more than one drink?
No.
Okay.
No. Sometimes
think
you get clients that will book for like a 2-hour or 3-hour, like regular clients, and they might have a couple of drinks. But yeah, generally.
they would call reception. There's phones in the room. They'd call reception, and then we would provide that if we see fit.
And then, sorry, you may have mentioned this earlier, but as far as security on the premises, is that during all operating hours that you have security there, or?
Yeah, it is.
All hours.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan. Ms. Phillips, you now have an opportunity to ask questions.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions.
No questions? Okay. If you do think of them a bit later, just let us know. Mr. Young, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one question. Ms. Pfaffenberger, I noticed in your application it says that your manager certificate expires in September. So I assume you've got it renewed, is that right?
Yes, it's already been renewed.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. That's my only question.
And Ms. Reid?
Just unmuting. Sorry about that. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes. Your premises can take 27 people. How many? When you're absolutely full, how many clients would you have at any one time?
So we've got 8 rooms in total. So generally that would be the maximum, unless you have a couple booking, which so you'd have extra
9
person,
max.
so you could have 9 max.
Okay. And the hours, the hours for alcohol, are those going to be your operating hours as well? You're not, as a business, you're not going till 4 o'clock. You're going to bring everything back to those hours.
Yep. Yeah. The only reason I initially put 4 o'clock, I think, was just as a broad, in case we ever have any functions or anything like that, like down the line. But then when I heard that there was a bit of a problem with it, I was like, okay, well, this is our operating hours. We don't need it for anything else. So, yeah.
Can you very briefly describe if you've had any experience with unruly customers? I know that this is a new premises, but where you've worked before, if you've had any unruly customers, and what is your procedure in dealing with customers that misbehave?
I'll speak on to that. So with any business, sometimes let's say an evening someone might come in that could have had too much to drink, but again, like we've expressed before, it's just not that kind of environment where that's just either encouraged, tolerated, or allowed. So if someone does come in our premises, the first point of contact is reception and the duty manager. So we've always been able to assess the situation. Again, we wouldn't want unruly clients near even the masseuses.
Yeah, so if a client seems like they're too intoxicated, they're just being plain rude or pushing, with the industry, then someone that is not very nice, we just refuse the booking. We just ask them to leave. We generally do it in a way that's not going to upset them. We just say, sorry, we fully booked tonight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't want problems, just as much as neighborhood doesn't have a problem. So yeah, we've had plenty, of men in our time. Like, this place has been around for 6 years, so I've worked in the industry for a while, so I know very well how to deal with clients in different situations. And yeah.
That's fine. And if you ask them to leave the premises, what about leaving the area? Because I think that's what some of the residents may be a little worried about.
I mean, there's nothing really in the area that will keep them there. It's quite there's no bars or clubs for them to hang around. So generally people that arrive to our premises arrive by an Uber or a taxi, and then they leave with it as well. But again, we keep eyeing them on the camera. Like, if someone's causing problems with us, and we ask them to leave and they don't leave, we'll just call the cops. It's really that simple.
Okay. We also do have we have waiting rooms, so if we do notice that they need a bit of assistance, we do help them.
Or they need to chill out before they leave if they
so they have
give them some water. Yeah.
Individual waiting rooms that they can sit until waiting for a ride.
And the final question is, how do your most of your clients arrive? Do they come in their own cars, or do they usually have not public transport, what am I saying, but Ubers or taxis?
Mostly Ubers and taxis. And again, we can see people coming and going from the cameras. Nowadays most people just come Uber and taxi. It's just so much easier than trying to find parking in the city, isn't it?
Yeah, especially in that area.
Yeah, and our parking it behind is for us only, for staff, so we have a gate there so no one can come and go.
Right, thank you. No more questions.
Thank you. Now, I just have a few questions as well. I just want to clarify. So, Ali, you're the business owner?
Yep.
But you work in the business as well? Yep. And Raya, you are the manager, is that right?
Yes.
Ali, I'm interested in your other, I think you said that you've been in the business for 6 years, so you owned a business for about 6 years, this type of operation.
Yeah, the Perfect Touch over 6 years.
So that's the Greyland one?
So Perfect Touch, the one I'm moving here, I've had it for years. I started off smaller, obviously, and then I opened up another one, and now I'm moving Perfect Touch to a larger location.
Which is this location, so it's larger.
Yep. Yeah, and it's a brand new fit out, so it's the same business. It's just a nice brand new place for us to enjoy.
So where is Perfect Touch currently?
It's there now because of lockdown. So
before lockdown, where were you working?
Well, we're in Richmond Road in Greyland.
Okay. And how big was that?
That was 5 rooms.
5 rooms. So this is only 1 room bigger. Well, hang on, is that right? Rooms or
3
8
rooms?
rooms? 8 rooms.
Yeah.
But 3 rooms bigger. And then your Richmond Road premises, was that comparing that to your new premises in terms of the neighbourhood? What's the difference and what are the similarities?
This place is a lot more commercial.
Right.
Restaurants, everything nearby. The previous place was office residential mixed zone, so we actually had a lot of difference in the area. That's one of the reasons I wanted to move. I wanted to kind of get closer to the city, be a little bit more professional, and just really kind of cement that we are like a high-end facility, not just in some kind of residential area. So
So with your Richmond Road premises, I think you said that you had a alcohol license for about 18 months?
No, that was for the Total Body Bliss. So the liquor licensing we've just introduced in the last kind of couple of years. Yeah. Obviously, as you all know, it's not a very easy process and it's also very expensive.
No. Yes.
But it's something I wanted to introduce just to try and just bring the industry up a little bit and add a little bit more luxury.
So what's Total Body Bliss? Is that a different business?
It's the same concept. It's one college hall, Freeman's Bay. That's got 7 rooms. Exactly the same situation. We have a liquor license there as well.
Okay.
So exactly the same hours. We also have apartments there as well. It's obviously it's mainly commercial, same as this place, mainly commercial, but there are also apartments in the area.
Okay. And have you had any complaints?
No.
No complaints. Do you know your neighbours there?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
I used to live in the complex just a couple of doors down, and it was, again, no one hears anything.
We also have most of the walls soundproofing, just to kind of enhance the experience for the clients. So that helps as well.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone worried, not that you would be, because our music is very quiet. But yeah.
I think that's all for me, but I'll just ask Ms. Phillips, have we asked the questions that you would have asked if you had asked? I guess I'm just wanting to make sure that, is there anything else you'd like to know from the applicants?
No.
No, okay. So we might come back to you, Ali and Raya, once we've heard from Ms. Phillips, but I think I've got a pretty good feel, and I'm sure Mr. Young and Ms. Reid as well have a pretty good feel of how you're going to run your business. So I think we'll turn to you, Ms. Phillips, if that's all right, and we'll get you affirmed by Ms. Stevenson, and we'll carry on. And you've seen what we did with Ali and Ryan, and it'll be the same thing for you, really. Are you comfortable with that?
Yep.
Yep, as much as possible. Great. Okay. Thanks.
So Anna, can you hear me?
Yes.
So Anna, do you solemnly, sincerely and truthfully declare and affirm that the evidence you're about to give touching the matters before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
So Anna, if you just, I guess, tell us where you live, in terms of how far you are from the premises, and really what your concerns are, that would be fantastic.
I live at 145 Simon Street, which is right beside 149 Simon Street, which is the premises. It's an apartment building, and there's 70 apartments, and 18 of the apartments are two-bedroom apartments that are directly facing the premises. So that would be like around 36 people there, and maybe around 90 people total in the building. And there's like almost all of the objections that I read were from people in the building. So there were around 7 letters, and then 6 of the letters were just people preferring the closing time of 12 a.m. midnight. We're just a bit worried about noise of people coming and going, and then about people being intoxicated coming and going, or maybe if it's quite late at night, they might have come from a bar or from somewhere else and just like showing up already being intoxicated and coming and going in the alleyway. Yeah, also all the restaurants in the area are already closed after midnight, so there's not really anything open except for Edinburgh Castle, which is a bar, and there's just been a lot of issues around there with excessive drinking and antisocial behaviour. Yeah, and then also the previous premises, they closed at 10 p.m, so it's just quite a big change from there, so we were just a bit worried about that and just why they would need to be open so late, and then the kinds of people who would be coming that late, just worried about them being intoxicated. Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Flanagan, do you have any questions?
I think my only question is, no, actually strike that. I don't have any questions. Thank you for coming today, though, or appearing today.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, because I think other people may have wanted to come, but it's just, I don't know, quite a lot of effort on a Friday. Yeah.
It is, and we really do appreciate it when objectors are able to come. But I think the concerns of most of the objections are the concerns that you've raised anyway. So it's whether there's 100 objectors or one objector, it's still the same issue. So it's great that you've managed to come, well, from your own house, from your own apartment. So now, Ms. Reid, do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Anna. You've heard the applicant describe the business, and in describing the business and the sort of people that are going to use the premises and how they're going to use the premises and the booking system, has that allayed your fears about there'll be a great deal of noise of coming and going?
Not particularly. Like, it sounds like not everyone did use the booking system. Like, there could still be people just phoning up last minute and coming around.
But you've heard that the place can only take 8 people or possibly 9 people maximum at any one time? Okay, and the hours, they've reduced the hours considerably. Does that allay your fears to some extent?
Well, yeah, like 4 a.m. is worse than 2 a.m., but still, like, people need some sleep. So, like, 2 a.m. was still a lot later than almost everyone is comfortable with.
And you've heard the applicant say how they want to be a good neighbour. Does that also give you a reason to not worry quite so much?
Like, I guess there are just kind of things that are outside of their control. Like, if they are, like, kicking people out, and it just kind of ends up on the street. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Ms. Phillips, you talked about your apartment facing the 149. Is the entrance to your building, does it face 149, or does it face the street, or where does it open up?
The entrance to our building faces north, so it's the southern side of the building that is overlooking 149.
Right,
so there's kind of like an alleyway beside the building that is also the access point to 149. So those are all the 2-bedroom apartments that are on the southern side.
Okay, so it's on the other side.
The opposite of the entrance.
Opposite, right, yeah. So, and do you usually hear any noises from the traffic outside?
Yeah.
Cars passing? So that's the...
Yeah, we get quite a lot of city noise. Just because it's quite an old building, like it was built in the 60s and then retrofitted in the 2000s. So yeah, we definitely get a lot of traffic noise. And then I think the people who were directly beside the alleyway were hearing a lot of noise in the past when it was other businesses.
So now that the other business is gone, you find it much quieter?
Yeah, from what I've heard at like the body court meeting.
Right. So, but are you really concerned about the noise from the traffic? But does it annoy you?
Yeah, like I find it hard to sleep sometimes, so I definitely like want to get that looked into to see if there's anything I can do. Like I think even at the body court meeting, people were asking if they could double glaze their windows just to try and keep some of the noise out. But it is quite expensive doing that.
Right. So nothing's being done at this stage to listen to noise. Okay. Thank you. That's it. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. So Anna, how long have you been living in your apartment?
Just under 2 years.
And since you've been living there, so prior to Ali trying to establish her business at the premises, what was in those premises?
I'm for a karaoke bar, but I never really knew if it was open or not. Like, I'm not sure when they closed trading, but yeah, I never really noticed too much going on there.
And so in the 2 years that you've been there, have you had any concerns from the businesses operating from 149 Simon Street?
No.
But the other people, the other objectors and the other people living at 145, they have told you about previous licensed premises operating from there that caused issues. Is that right?
Yeah, like from the karaoke bar. I think that was like they may have been living there longer than I have, and also where their apartment is, it's right beside it. My apartment's kind of around the corner a bit.
Okay, so do you think? I'm just trying to gauge whether the concern with the new operation and the fact that it's getting a liquor license stems from previous issues with the premises. Do you think?
Yeah, it's more just kind of the hours. Like, we're trying to sleep and just worried about getting woken up after midnight.
Okay. And so I guess you don't know, because you weren't living there when the karaoke bar was operating, the capacity for that karaoke bar, how many people it would have had.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Okay. Other than limiting hours, because I think that's what you're most concerned about, is the 2 a.m. Is there anything else the applicant should be doing to allay your concerns?
I guess like potentially having like a reservation only system after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Or that so people would like be planning in advance rather than just showing up. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, I might ask. I might be going between you and then the applicants, because I feel as I need a bit more information. So actually, Ali and Raya, in terms of the percentage that pre-book and the percentage that just turn up, are you able to give us a bit of a feel for that?
I'd say probably about 70-80% that reserve. Again, yeah, we are high end. It's not cheap. It's not something you can come and just throw some money around. So it's something that people pre-book for generally. Yeah.
Just like most massages, sensual or non-sensual, you need to guarantee that you're getting a space. With us only having 8 rooms, you can only see 8 clients at a time, and most of those clients book for at least an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not something people just walk in and wait around for. We do have a waiting room, but it's a single cubby thing, so people aren't waiting an hour, waiting their turn. Again, our clients are a higher end of clientele who value their time and do pre-arrange these things. Like I mentioned previously, people don't come in and just wait.
On the website, we say we welcome a walk-in policy, and that's more for the fact that we encourage people to come in and meet the ladies in person, because it is a sensual massage. It's about more than just a massage. It's people wanting to connect. So something to, make sure the lady or the man of their choice is a nice person, or they can speak English well or whatever. So yeah, people generally always call and book. It's just how we operate. Yeah.
And so you said that about 70 to 80% do pre-book. The 20 to 30% that just turn up, is there a time then when people are more likely to just turn up?
So they would be the ones that would call in and say to meet the ladies. So we still know they're generally coming. Does that make sense? like the pre-bookings are the ones that have actually specifically booked someone already. But then we get people, usually if people are coming in because they know that we're busy, like Body Bliss is the only place of its kind in Auckland, and Perfect Touch is going to be similar. There's only limited spots. A lot of people know that if they just walk in, they're not going to get anything because we just don't operate like that. So
also to add to
how many people just walk? I'm walking down the road, I see your premises, I think, oh, I feel like a massage. How many people just walk in? Because that's what Anna and those residents are most concerned about.
Again, we are new to this area, so I'm not quite sure. I can't answer that to you right now, but I wouldn't. Yeah, like in general, we just don't have many people just walking off the street. They call up. We don't have large signage. We don't have flashing lights or whatever. People don't really know what that is. The doors are shut generally. There's a nice garden that's going to be outside, so people won't be like, oh, hey, look, there's a massage center. It's more called online marketing. So yeah.
Also to add to that, a lot of clients want discretion. So the last thing they're going to do is walk into the premises with the potential of running into someone else. So even if they're walking by, they would always get in touch with us, whether that be a text, a call. They don't want to be running into another client. So they ask reception, is it all clear? So we do know who's coming and going. It's very rare if that someone will just walk in.
And can I just add as well, with our new traffic light system and COVID passports and all of that jazz, it seems like pretty much everyone's going to have to register to sign in no matter where you go. So, I mean, that's something that's moving forward, going to be a part of all businesses, so that should help.
And I guess what I'm trying to understand is that Anna said one thing that she would like is to have a reservation after midnight. But from what I'm hearing from you is, even though you said 70 to 80% are reserved or pre-booked, it's actually a lot higher than that, because they may not pre-book a massage, but they'll still reserve. They'll ring up and say, I'd like to come and meet the ladies, look at the room. So you actually very rarely have walk-ins off the street.
That's correct.
Might help her as well to know that generally at that time of the night, most of the girls want to go home, so we don't have a lot of staff available. So we don't really have a lot of clients coming in. Yeah, so that might help.
Yeah, okay. And a couple of other questions. How many that you've just sort of raised, how many staff do you normally have working?
So we have 8 rooms. So generally we have between 7 to maybe 9 staff, and then we've got a receptionist and shift manager, so about 11. But bear in mind, COVID has kind of thrown us a little curveball. So going back, we are going to be easing in slowly. So it's going to be even less than that. So you won't even know.
And often a concern of residents that live next to licensed premises, part of the concern is people leaving the premises and driving off. So you're going to have your staff leaving potentially at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so they'll have parked behind the premises. Is that right? I'm just wanting to make sure that the residents at 149 they may not be disturbed by the patrons, because they might be having a one wine or no alcohol, but there is the staff leaving at 2. How do you envision that working?
Okay. So again, there's an apartment at the back, which I also have, and so there are going to be residents living in the apartment, and we can't control when they come and go. So if you're worried about that kind of thing, there are other, and you said that there's 70 residents in your apartment as well, and there's also a big car park outside, and again, you can't control when people come and go. So, I mean, there are going to be coming and going.
I guess and I appreciate that, but you are having a business that operates till 2 a.m. So you are going to have staff leaving it at 15 once they've cleaned up the room. So how many staff, how often do you have to work till, do your staff have to work till 2 a.m.?
So our receptionists and managers will be there, obviously. And that's Wednesday to Saturday, and then the other hours, Sunday to Tuesday, we're open up to 12. And a lot of the ladies, they Uber. A lot of them don't have cars. yeah, that's just the general nature of how people in the city.
And when they do leave, it's the receptionist needs to obviously check the room. So girls leave one at a time. So it's not just like 8 people flood the streets. And a lot of them are in booking. Some of them clean slower. Some of them shower. Everyone has different schedules. And like you mentioned, most of our masseuses don't drive into the city because of there's limited parking, and it's just easier for them to Uber in and out.
Yeah, and most of the car park is for the residents at the back. So
okay, that's what because you had said earlier, I think you might have said that your staff can park at the back. So, and even though you're no residents, you do have control over your staff. So it's great to hear that actually the bulk of them are getting Uber. Because there's nothing worse than people starting up their car, revving their cars at 2 in the morning when the neighbours are trying to sleep. So it sounds as though that's potentially not really an issue.
Yeah.
So Anna, is there anything else that, having heard everything you've heard, is there anything else you'd like to ask or other concerns?
No.
No. Okay. Ms. Reid or Mr. Young, do you have any other questions?
No, thanks.
Through the chair, I just wondered if the applicant had any questions of the objector.
That's true. Thank you. I forgot to ask that. Yeah. Ali, do you have any questions of the objector, of Ms.
Yeah. I just like to know, like, one of her main reasons is the people can come and go at a later time. You do live in an apartment. You said you've got 70 residents there. Do you guys have a curfew or a booking system where people come and go, or is it just kind of people can come and go as they please at whatever time?
Yeah, people come and go, but it's not really like young people who live here too much. Like, it's not really parties and issues with things like that. It's kind of like 30 plus, and then some families as well.
Yeah, you did say 30 plus. So again, with our business, we charge hundreds of dollars per hour. So it isn't young people who can afford this. It is a luxury experience. So it isn't, young, loud troublemakers that come in. So we also have the same tenants, and clients seem to be the same kind of vibe in the sense of age and respectfulness. So we just want to reiterate, we aren't like a nightclub, strip club. We don't have the younger clientele. It is about let's see, I'll speak on Total Body Bliss. We charge $250 an hour. So that is a substantial amount of money for, let's say, younger folks. So it is an expensive service. It is a luxury service, and our clients reflect that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. My main question was just like, do you guys have a booking system, or can people come and go as they please? Can cars leave car parks? Can partners come over? It is, obviously 70 people in the apartment. I just wanted to ask that, but I think that's pretty much everything.
Because the car park for your building is right next to the building, so realistically, they would probably make just as much noise as we did if one of your neighbors came in at 2 in the morning. They'd pretty much make the same noise.
And is there like a limit of how many people can come and go? Is it, what is the apartment? What's the capacity?
Yeah, there's not really limits on people because like we live here. These are our homes.
Mm-hmm. Is there CCTV throughout the premises? Is there anyone monitoring the halls or the car parks?
Yeah, there's CCTV, and then we have a building manager as well.
Mm-hmm. Is there a liquor ban anywhere?
I'm not sure if it's a liquor ban area.
Actually, Ms. Kathleen, you might know whether, is there a liquor ban in the area?
In the whole area, yes, there's a liquor ban.
Right.
In the public, yeah.
In the public, yeah, but not in the the apartment space, personal, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And actually, Ali, and Anna, they may have more questions for you, but I have thought of a couple of questions for you, Ali, and that's at the Richmond Road premises and Body Bliss. Have you ever had anyone come in that's intoxicated?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
So how often would that happen?
Not that often. Again, people come in to relax. It's not a hangout area. We don't have a hangout area in the club area. So yeah.
So when you say it doesn't happen often, what does that mean? Is it once a week? Is it once a year? What can you give us a bit of a feel for how often, not often is?
So I've worked there for Total Body Bliss for about 2 years now. I would say probably a handful of times. Someone has been to that top level of intoxication that I would intervene and assist them to leave the premises. It's just not that environment. I feel like we keep hitting that, like putting that through. It's just our business doesn't work if everyone's intoxicated, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, most people when they lie down, if they're really drunk, they get sick. So usually us kind of people will go to the strip clubs, the brothels, where they have the bar area. We don't really have that, so people don't come there for that. Or people want to keep partying, which again, if they come to our place, that's something that doesn't happen. They lie down, they relax, and most of the time half asleep by the time they leave. So yeah, it's more the brothels and the strip clubs that have those kind of clientele.
And again, $250 is a lot of money for some people to spend and just be sick. So they want to enjoy that. It is a luxury. It's not something people do every day. So people do engage with us. Clients come in, they want to make the most of the experience, which means maybe having a drink to take, like, to calm down, relax, maybe settle nerves.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to get a massage, I'm not going to drink a whole bottle of champagne. I want to enjoy it. This is a treat. I'm treating myself. So I do want to make sure I'm getting the most out of the situation. So again, we don't get intoxicated people coming.
Okay, thank you. So do you have any more questions of Anna?
I
don't think so.
Okay.
One moment, sorry. 1 moment. Your main concern seems to be the opening hours and people making noise coming and going. I just want to let you know again that regardless of a liquor license or not, we will be operating there. We do have a long lease. I have put a lot of money into these premises. We are going to have people coming and going at those operating times. And we also are going to have some people that, come in Ubers from other bars. That's something that there's no control in that. It is a commercial area. And yeah, it just happens. So I guess just want to mention that.
Thank you. So we've gone through all the evidence now. So you get the last, you can wrap up your case. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, or would you like to have more time and provide something in writing? We're in your hands really with that.
I think we've said everything.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So I think it's just closing statement, if you want to give one.
Yeah. I guess closing statement. Yeah, I mean, I'm a businesswoman. I'm trying to bring the level in the industry up, in the sex industry. And the way I operate is, very transparent, very professional. I think I'm a benefit to the area because, like I said, I'm putting in the garden, so CCTV, all the rubbish bins that keep sitting outside the apartments. I don't know if that's annoying you guys, but it sure as hell is annoying me. So I'm going to make sure that's taken care of. I'm going to be there all the time. I'm also going to have tenants there. So it's something that, it's important for me to make sure the area is looked after well. Yeah. And I also don't want any incidents. I do not want people, going on the streets getting drunk or any fights or whatever. Again, I'm a business owner. This is my responsibility. I'm the one that pays for it. And I have much more to lose than some tenants. So for me, it's much more important to make sure the place is looked after well. That's, I think, yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. So that brings us to the end of the hearing. We will deliberate in private and get a decision out. I want to thank you all for joining us via this sort of online meeting. It is more difficult than it is in person in some ways, and we do appreciate you making the effort, particularly you, Anna, because it is much more difficult as an objector having to take time off work, and I'm sure Ali appreciates you doing that. Even though you're an objector, at least you actually have turned up and voiced your concerns. She knows what your concerns are, and I think that's really, really important. If we're going to grant, whether we grant this license or not, you're going to have the business next door because it doesn't need a license to operate. So we will finish this hearing now. And well, I guess, are there any questions before we sign off?
If anyone wants to come in and have a look around, you're welcome to. We're going to have opening soon. So
okay, great.
You'll know. Just give us a call first so we can book you in, please.
Look, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good day for the rest of the day. Let's hope we get to step 2 of level 3 next week and that we have a bit more freedom, but yeah, we'll wait and see. And we'll get the decision out as soon as we can.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.